Test one, test two. Test one, test two.
This is from the young man. Ava, do we have the conflict forms?
Conflict of interest, so we
Conflict
said
of
we don't have
interest.
don't have an interest in any of the properties that are needed.
They're still on the table?
They usually, yeah, that's the sign in. But it's usually one with little checks. Check, yes, no, and then autograph.
So next month, we have your subdivision?
Okay.
No conflict here.
No conflict.
Yeah.
I just know we don't want to sign it to make it official. I may need to sign it. Real estate, if they make it
Ready?
official, to make it come back.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're now about ready
Sign up sheets.
to start our Board of Appeals today. Speakers you must sign up, open. Welcome to the Spalding County Board of Appeals regular meeting. It's March the 10th, March the 10th, 2022 at 6 p.m. Please silence your cell phones and all other electronic devices. Speakers must sign up prior to the meeting and provide their names, address, and the topic they wish to discuss. Speakers must direct your remarks to the board and not to the individual board members or to the audience. Personal disagreement with individual board members or county employee are not a matter of public concern or personal attack will not be tolerated. The chairman has a right to limit your comments in the interest of disposing of the county business in the efficient and respectable manner. Speakers will be allowed 3 minutes to speak on their chosen topic as they relate to matters pertaining to the jurisdiction of the Board of Appeals. No question will be asked by any board members during the citizen comments. Outbursts from the audience will not be tolerated. Common courtesy and civility are expected at all times during the meeting. No speaker will be permitted to speak more than 3 minutes or more once unless the board votes to suspend these rules. Okay, we're now about ready to start our first application. If you desire to speak, please make sure you've signed in again in the back.
Madam Chair, we actually need to amend the agenda. Item number 1 needs to be removed up under the introduction of new business. Harmon Betty is no longer with the county, so
Okay.
Do we need to,
if we can withdraw that.
do we need to motion it, or do we just withdraw?
It's
it?
already
Okay.
been motioned.
All right, okay.
Move on.
So just go on, okay.
Okay. Okay, our first application here tonight, this evening, will be application 22-1S, L&C Partnership, LSP owner Taylor English Duma, LSP agent 203 Lakeside Drive, approximately 10.78 acres located in land lot 75 in the Second Land District, requesting a special exemption to allow office for commercial activity conduct off premises.
Madam Chairman, also, we have the second item
It's the same,
is related.
related,
And
okay.
what I ask you to do is to consolidate them for hearing, and then you'll have to vote on them separately. So if you want to go ahead and read number 3.
Okay. Application 22-2V, L&C Partnership, LLP ownership Taylor English Duma, LLP agent 203 Lakeside Drive, approximately 10.78 acres, located in land lot 75 in the Second Land District, requesting a variance of allowance requiring office space from 2,000 approximate to 124. Do we have, who would have to represent, that you may take this stand, raise your right hand, please. Tell us your name, your address, and just a little something about the application tonight.
Yes, Board Member McCord. My name is Stephen Jones. My address is 1600 Parkwood Circle, Suite 200, Atlanta, Georgia, zip code 30009. And this application is, you've got two applications together. You've got a special exception for an office and a variance to reduce, double variance to reduce the required size of the lot and the required size of, or increase the required size of the house. We've got a presentation for you. Mr. Vaughn, would you switch me over? I'm accompanied today by Clayton Wall. He's the C in LNC Partnership. These two tracks that you'll see shown here and that I'm about to show you on a PowerPoint are part of a larger, over 200-acre farm or homestead that Mr. Wall has, where he, his mother, and soon his sister's family will all live in separate houses around the compound. This house is across the street on Lakeside Drive from Oak Hill Baptist Church. It's an over a half-decade old ranch house that's just a hair over 2,000 square feet. The ordinance requires for a special exception office that the office be under 2,000 square feet. We're above by just a few square feet. So that's the first variance, is requesting to allow the house to be used for an office, even though it exceeds the minimum house size by 124 square feet. The second variance is because these parcels together are approximately 10 acres. Your ordinance requires 20 acres for a special exception office, but the hardship's met because the rest of the farm is in a conservation use covenant, and so we can't tie those to this application. But we'd be willing to tell you that, and propose as a condition of approval, that approval of the special exception and the variances are tied to LNC Partnership holding an interest in at least 20 acres contiguous with these parcels. So that's effectively it. Mr. Wall and his family, they have a couple of different real estate businesses. They're real estate brokers. They're also home builders, and they also develop land. And so his family are the proprietors of this business. They're the only employees. This house would be used just for them to have an out-of-the-home office, still on their same farm where they all live or will live, but just in a different location. They've been in business for 40 years. They have a multitude of records and a ton of records that they need a place to keep. And so this office will be that. They'll each have an office there. It's a 3-bedroom house. They'll have rooms, obviously, for filing cabinets and what have you. But that's it. There should be no traffic associated with it. They don't have really any visitors. They don't do closings there. They do all showings off-site. If there's going to be a visitor, it'll be me or Mr. Scanlon, who I'm sure y'all have seen before. Other than that, hardly anybody visits the premises. Maybe Newton, if he's got to serve us, but that's about it. That's about it. I mean, it's a real simple thing. I mean, if you look at it holistically, it really fits into what a special exception office is meant for, to have an office kind of associated with a tract where you live. There's no storage associated with it. They keep all their home building supplies elsewhere. You know, they're just only the general. So all it is it's just an office. And with that, any questions you may have?
No, I don't think that, I mean, I don't have any.
I can show you a few blown up pictures. We had some technical difficulties. So you'll see the track here, the 2 tracks next to the church. That's all in yellow is the overall farm. So again, over 200 acres, and these are tied to it, all under the same ownership. Here's the house from a tax map. They've just gone through and renovated it, so we hope you approve it. Here's it from the road, set off pretty far from the road, so again, nobody will know it's there. It'll, from all outward appearance, it'll just look like a single-family house. You got a floor plan. That's it. Any questions you may have?
Do we have any more guests, to sign up on this agenda before we, it's Mr. Jones?
Okay.
Okay, no question.
I do, yes, I do have a question. Now, the office space is going to be occupied by the people that are running the farm?
No, ma'am, it's not a working farm. We just call it the farm. It's 200 acres that's got 3 houses on it. And so, Mr. Wall's gonna live there. His mother lives in another house and his sister's gonna move into another house. There's no farm operation, there's no crops. It's just pasture land. They may have somebody cut the hay, but this is just another house on the property that they wanna use for their business office. And
So-
again, the 3 of them that live out there will be the only ones working at the office.
Okay, so the 3 of them that live there will be the ones that are occupying the office space?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And no one else. They have no other employees. It's just them.
Now, you mentioned real estate, building, developing. Will there be any equipment needs there?
No, ma'am. This is purely an office space. Everything that they do physical is contracted out, so graders are contracted out, any builders, subcontractors. This is really just the business component. Paper pushing, plans, things like that, computers and desks. Right now, they're in a storefront in, just outside McDonough, in a single stall, 3 desks. So that's really just moving this here, so A, they're not incurring rent, B, it's closer to home, and they own the building.
Okay, do we have any other from the board?
No.
We'll turn it over to
Has
this.
anyone else signed up to speak, Ms. McCoy?
No.
Anybody, I just asked, I think he wants,
Robin,
No.
have you signed up?
I didn't sign up, but I just point out, can I just point out something?
If you come to the podium and let us get your name.
Yeah. That's what
You
it
made the mistake of raising your hand.
okay, raise your hand and state your name, please.
I really didn't mean to speak, but, yes,
Yeah,
oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, state your name.
Robin Nance,
Okay, you swear to tell the truth? Okay, go ahead and speak.
thank you. I really wasn't gonna speak, but I noticed in
Robin,
the
we need your name and address.
611 South Hill Street, Griffin, Georgia,
Okay.
is that all?
That's it.
Okay.
You're on the record.
I wasn't gonna speak, but let me just point out a couple of things to the committee and to your attorneys for the future. This doesn't really affect us. We've been knowing the Wall family for 20 years. And, we have property across the road. We also attend Oak Hill Baptist Church directly across the road, so it's not a complaint that we're looking for. I just point out the fact that the notice that we received, my wife owns the property, that she received said 7.7 acres. The agenda says 10.7 acres. The other thing is, the address 203 Lakeside Drive, if you put that in Google, it'll take you up behind Walmart. So it's not the property, it's Lakeside Road. So I think that's just an administrative oversight, so I'll just point those couple of things out. It doesn't affect this at all, I'm not complaining, I'm not anything about it, but somewhere down the road, somebody would complain if you had the wrong number of acreage and the wrong address. So I just point that out, as administrative detail.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Okay. We'll hear from the staff if the board.
Madam Chair, excuse us, we're trying to bring our monitors back up while we flipped over and trying to figure that out. But on the staff report, so the size and location of the property, 203 Lakeside Road, which is actually how it's listed in Q Public, Williamson, Georgia 30292. It is approximately 7.7 acres, located in land lot 75 of the Second Land District of Spalding County. and 201 Lakeside Road, Williamson, Georgia, is approximately 3.011 acres. Combined, they are 10.78 acres. Both are under the same ownership and platted as a one unit over at the courthouse. However, since they were divided here, we figured we were going to go ahead and illustrate them here when it comes in. Current owner is LNC Partnership LLP. You've heard from Mr. English. So the applicant requests permission to be a special exception to utilize the current home on the property as an office. There is a concurrent variance, as we've illustrated with that, to increase the maximum square footage required or allowed for primary use as an office from 2,000 square feet to 2,124 square feet. Also, a simultaneous variance to request from the restriction of the minimum tract size being 25 acres. So when you look at our actual ordinance of of Spalding County, so Appendix 4, Article 5, under Section 503B, item number 23, lists the categories for what we permit as use as an office space. So the requirements are that the minimum tract size must be 25 acres. It must be located within an existing building or structure. Persons employed on the premises or office shall not exceed 4. Office hours shall be limited to 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The office shall not change the agricultural and/or residential character of the property. Maximum office square footage, 2,000 square feet. Office or outdoor storage associated with the office use is prohibited. Parking for the office use is limited to the side and rear yard. Equipment or vehicles related to the off-premises business are not allowed on site except for personal vehicles of persons employed on the premises for office use. And office use cannot create or generate increased traffic and/or noise except for that associated with the use of personal vehicles and persons employed on the premises for use. So, as you can see, the application before you meets everything except for the 25-acre tract and the maximum office square footage of 2,000 square feet. However, the variances before you, with this being a conglomeration of, I believe it's 256.5 acres for all 7 tracts that's under common contiguous ownership with the family, I think would satisfy the 25-acre minimum if you took that into account. The reason why it cannot be replatted, the entire parcel to the east of the 2 parcels in question is signed up in a conservation agreement via the tax assessor's office. So you cannot, for the tax provision from that, you cannot combine one piece of land that's not under conservation with something that is, and you cannot break off from a piece of land that's been signed up for conservation use and attach it to another one and rewrite the covenants. So that would be a hardship created if we required the family to replat this property. They would pay the breach penalty, which would be quite significant at the tax assessor's office. So in that spirit, staff would recommend approval of both the variances and the special exception, or request for special exception, when it comes in. And we do not see any unforeseen, or unforeseen consequences if the board would make those recommendations and approvals tonight.
Okay, we've heard from the staff, and we'll get back with the board. Can we get approval, a motion?
I move,
Remember, you have to make 2 motions, one on
Make
each
the motion.
application.
okay. I move approval of application number 22-1S.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your hand. Ayes have it. Thank you.
And then we'll need Rule 1 for the concurrent variance application as well.
Okay, for both of them.
I move approval of application 22-2V.
Okay, second. Okay, I second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Ayes have it. Thank you. Okay. So now we'll have approval of the minutes.
Yes, ma'am. Approval of the minutes from the
La-
February 10th.
10th,
Well, before we move to the approval, I'm sure the gentlemen know, but I know one of these will go before BOC. Are they aware of, one is approved by us, and then the other will go up to, so they're good with that? They know? Okay, all right.
Okay. approval of the minutes, consider the approval of the Board of Appeals minute from the meeting from the February 2020.
I move approval of the minutes from our February 2022 meeting.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, raise your hand. Ayes have it. Thank you. Now we would take this moment to recognize the service of Mr. Ed Brown for his 9 years of service here with the zoning board.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Chair, people in attendance tonight, Ed Brown is our chairman of our Board of Appeals, recently passed. He served this board for 9 years. In the short time that I was here, he provided excellent counsel and, much wisdom when it was coming in. So definitely, there will be some huge shoes to fill, to replace him when he comes in. But I wanted his name and his service read into the record, just so he would be there. Nobody would forget about him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And next, we would thank Teresa Watson for her 2 years of service as board secretary and introduce Eva Morales as our new minute secretary extraordinary and plenipotentiary.
Hello, you guys.
That's Eva right there.
Madam Chair, Ms. Teresa has decided she's going to scale back her involvements. She's still going to continue to take minutes for other organizations. But the fact that we meet at night, she's not going to be compliant with her new schedule. But I want to thank her for her dedicated service and
Okay.
minutes for 2 years.
Thank you.
Thank
She will be
you.
working with our office to help kind of get some guidance and pointers for Eva. Eva is our planning technician, and I tell you, Madam Chairwoman, Madam Board members, I could not do what I do on a daily basis without her, so we are very, very
Thank
fortunate
you,
to have her.
Eva.
Thank you.
And,
Thank
I
you
look
so
forward
much.
to seeing her expand her roles with our office.
Okay. Well, welcome to the party.
Next, we'll have our status of 2022 officers of this board.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Chair, I wanted to ask Newton about this with, the fact that we have not had elections for 2022 and we are down a member. Do we need to establish elections of officers, or where does that sit? What do we need to do procedurally?
Well, we only have 4 active members. It's a standard agenda item, Brad. They can vote tonight if they choose to vote, or you can set it to give all opportunity for Mr. Slaughter to be here.
Okay.
But if they want to go ahead and vote and select a chairman, they can do so.
Madam Chair, what would be your pleasure? Would you want to hold elections tonight, or would you want to wait until Mr. Slaughter's here? And we have 4.
Well, we can go ahead on, we can go ahead on and elect the chairman and the assistant chairman.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah, no problem.
We're gonna
Open the floor for
open the
nomination.
floor for nomination for chairman.
Well, Ms. Patricia, if you would like to serve, I don't like to throw anybody under the bus, but if you would like to serve, if you would be willing, then I would nominate you to serve as our chairperson, chairwoman, all of that. That's my motion. I guess I need to put in form of a motion.
Or
That I would-
A nomination.
A nomination. I'd like to nominate Ms. Patricia McCord to be chairperson for the 2022.
You don't have to. It's up to you.
I said what I said. So,
I would be willing to do the assistant chairman, if that's fine,
Okay.
to work along with.
Would you like to be, are you willing to serve as the chair?
Yes, he.
Okay.
Yes, if you
Okay.
guys nominate me, I'll be happy to.
Okay.
So, totally.
Now-
Okay. Well, I'd like to nominate Mr. Peerforth as our chairperson.
Is there a second?
Accept.
Accept it. What do we hear?
I mean, I nominated now. Do we gotta
accept?
vote?
Is there a second on the nomination?
Okay,
I second the
All right,
motion.
then take a vote, please.
okay.
Okay, all in favor, Mr. Purifoy for the chairman? Okay.
All right.
He's our new chairman. That's open for our assistant chairman.
Or vice chairman.
Vice
that's
Vice
correct.
chairman.
Well, then I would like to nominate Ms. Patricia McCord as our vice chairperson.
I accept.
I second.
Okay.
All right, Ms.
All in
McCord, call-
favor?
all right.
All in favor? Thank you. So our new chairperson would be Mr. Purifoy, and I would be, act as the co-chair. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair, congratulations, we'll get the website and everything updated for you. We'll make sure we've got contact information for everybody as well, so that way we can update it upstairs. And other than that, Madam Chair, that clears our desk for items of business.
One new business. When, do you know when we will have a replacement for Mr. Brown's district?
I do know in talking with Steve that the commissioners are going to put this on their next meeting agenda. I think it's the special or extraordinary session they're having on the 21st.
21st.
So it'll be Monday. They're gonna have nominations. In Spalding County, typically, each of you represent, or each of you are a representative from your respective, Board of Commissioner member that's there. So they would try and, nominate someone from Commissioner Bolden's district as well to replace Mr. Head. And we're waiting on those folks to either say yes or learn that they've been voluntold.
Okay, all right, just wanted to know. Thank you so much.
Okay. Do we have any other business? If not, we have a motion to adjourn if we have anything, don't have anything else on the
So moved.
agenda.
So, no, I second that.
Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you. So move adjourn.
Thank y'all.